Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Johan and I'm a Dutchie, and I want to learn about life and living in Australia because it's way down there, down under, and I'm afraid of flying. So for now, this is the only way to learn more about life and living in Australia, together with an ever-growing community who gives me all kinds of feedback. I'm learning every day more and more how it really is in Australia. And so we're gonna take a look at this video from the selfish codependent life abroad. Codependent, okay. And she's Dutch because she's talking about, after visiting Australia, I can't stop thinking about the Netherlands. So I'm curious what's keeping her in Australia, or why does she want to go back to the Netherlands? Because what I've seen the last couple of weeks about Australia, it's pretty nice to be there. But let's take a look at her and what her point of view is. Stay or go.
The conversation always ends the same way. Yeah, it's not perfect here, but where else to go? And honestly, at some point I found myself being stuck at that question too. And what can broaden our horizon and challenge our perspectives is traveling and seeing other places. So in this video I want to share with you some things that made me rethink my life in the Netherlands after staying in Australia for 1 month. And
Oh, after 1 month.
quick disclaimer before we begin. I'm staying in Queensland, so most of my observations are going to be tied to that region. One of the biggest reasons why a lot of people want to leave the Netherlands is the weather. Pretty much from October until March, it's gloomy and grey all the time. And there are only
Yeah. From October to March? Yeah, it is. At the point that there's summer in Australia.
a few days of the year where you can wear a t-shirt. In Sunshine Coast, where I'm staying right now, it's pretty much 25 degrees Celsius all the year. I arrived here in February after a few grey and depressing months in the Netherlands, and after just 4 days here, I immediately felt more alive. Considering that I just had changed 9 time zones, it says a lot. Because of the weather,
Nine time zones.
life here happens outside a lot. There are beaches, of course, but there are also a lot of outside spaces, like covered picnic tables everywhere where you can just work, sit, chill. There are hikes in the hinterlands and along the coast. In general, the nature feels very beautiful and diverse. So you just naturally spend a lot of time outdoors. To show you what I mean, so here behind me is the beach, and now behind me is the coastal hike. This coastal hike goes through the Noosa National Park, so it's quite nice and cool, and they say that if you come at the dawn or dusk, you can even see koala in the wild. In the Netherlands, the story is different. Yes, we have parks and nature areas, but because of the weather, you just simply can't spend there as much time. But what I didn't expect...
Wow. 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 My dear. Looking at the pictures and the film scenes she's showing about the Netherlands, it's up to what we call the Randstad, or the triangle between Rotterdam, Utrecht and Amsterdam. Yeah, but there are a lot of nice parks over in the Netherlands where you can enjoy. I've cycled all through the Netherlands, so yeah, but you have to do some work, and if you're living in the Randstad and you want to see some nice parks, then you have to get into your car or train and then move south or move east to see, no, west, sorry, not east, west to see something.
Back, because I...
East, not west. West is the ocean, the sea. East.
arrived in Australia, not in Spain, is this. Many cafes here open at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, rhythm of life. Okay, well, because this, yeah, it's a sad day in the Netherlands. I look at it, I'm not sure where it is. I don't recognize this tower, but yeah, from October to March, it looks like this.
But because of the weather, you just simply can't spend there as much time. But what I didn't expect, because I arrived in Australia, not in Spain, is this. Many cafes here open at 6:30 a.m. and close at 2:30 p.m. Because afternoon it gets super hot here, so people structure their day differently than in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, people don't wake up super early. In Australia, a lot of people start their day at 5-6 a.m. For example.
Woo! That's early. You don't do this over here. You still lay on one ear and sleeping because it's too dark to get out at that
Example,
point.
I went to Pilates class a couple of times and the one at 6 a.m. was always fully booked. I noticed that I started waking up as well at around 6 a.m. and I started going to bed earlier as well at around 10 p.m. But it also makes sense because in the Netherlands, especially in winters, it's very difficult to wake up early. So waking up at 5 a.m. here and waking up at 5 a.m. in the Netherlands feels very different. You also see people going for like sportive walks at around 7 or 6:30 on a Saturday, or people meeting for a coffee very early, like at 7 a.m. or so, which feels a bit weird to a European person. I think everyone is very chill.
Yeah, going for a coffee at 7 in the morning? No. Usually, when you go to your work and you have together with your colleagues a cup of coffee to start the day off, and then you go to your work.
Yeah, but I also think it's because we're in Noosa, not in a big city. So it's more like a lifestyle town. Everyone is chill. Everyone tells you enjoy. You see people barefoot. It's kind of like the stereotype about Australians, right? That they go everywhere barefoot. And I actually even have a hypothesis why. I try to drive in flip-flops because most of the time you're in flip-flops, right? It's very hot here and it's not possible to drive in flip-flops, so I just drive barefoot.
I have another hypothesis.
Yeah?
My hypothesis is that not everyone, but almost everyone is surfing, and then they get washed from one beach to another beach. And
How
then
do you
they
feel
need to-
about your hat?
It's cool. So they get washed from one beach to the next, and then they just walk from one to another. And as well, like when you go surfing, you can't just like leave your flip-flops somewhere and then forget them. So that's my hypothesis.
Okay, then
Okay. Why are the people in Australia walk barefoots? That's the question.
next one might be a weird thing to say, but every single one of us will actually appreciate it. So the Netherlands is already a very comfortable place to live in. But when I came to Australia, I was surprised by how small everyday things make life much, much easier. These things might sound minor, but they add up and they are quite important actually. The first thing that comes to mind is that in Australia, there are public toilets everywhere. They are clean, they have toilet paper, and they're free. By the way, we're
Oh, and they are free. Okay. The last part, because we have public toilets too. But you have to pay for them, yeah. But you have to pay for them so to be cleaned and be clean and sanitized. So that's
approaching one example of that. So these are the public toilets, and there is a beach. Another thing that comes to mind is that there are free filtered water stations around cities and beaches. I also find it quite refreshing that here, when you sit down at a restaurant or cafe, they just bring you a bottle of tap water, which later you can go and refill yourself. This is so convenient for someone
yeah, you have to ask for that in the Netherlands when you do.
who drinks a lot of water like me. In the Netherlands, you have to pay for water. Like you sit down at
My dear, if you ask for tap water, you don't need to pay for it. But if you ask for any kind of water from a spring, yeah, then you have to pay.
the restaurant, and if you say, hey, can I get a glass of water, just tap water, it's fine. In many places, they're not going to serve you tap water. You have to pay for bottled water. And if you bring your own bottle, like, you know, those reusable water bottles, in many places, they will ask you not to put it on the table, like put it in your bag. By the way, did you notice the
Yeah, that's the higher part of the Netherlands. He's right. In those areas, they will ask you. It's not in the south. No, we won't. Now you get the difference. You already know the difference that she lives up. I go up that part of the Netherlands while I'm down in this part of the Netherlands. Yeah.
change of the scenery? Like, I was just at the beach, right? And I told you about how diverse the nature is. And just look at this here. You can see, right, that it gives you a little bit of jungle vibes. And I'm literally like 3 minutes away from the beach. Wow.
Yeah, you won't find that in the Netherlands. No, the beach is one side, and on the other side we have the forest, but not this jungle vibe. No, not at all.
It's just so beautiful. Another thing that I'll say, this is something that I hadn't expected at all, is that no one is smoking here. And when I'm saying no one, I'm not exaggerating. I am a nuisance, and I've seen maybe 5 people in the whole month of me staying here that was smoking. No one is smoking on the beach. No one is smoking on the terrace at the restaurant. No one is smoking just like walking and smoking. How come? The Netherlands is a relatively healthy society. People are quite fit and healthy, and still I can't imagine sitting on a terrace without someone smoking into my face. And it's kind of socially awkward to ask them not to smoke. So you just have to either like put up with that or stand up and leave. Maybe.
Yeah, 1 out of 4, 24% of the Dutch still smokes.
If you really dare, you can ask them to angle it another way. But it's kind of socially awkward to say, hey, don't smoke here. But here in Australia, you just.
But smoking is only allowed outside, not inside any public areas, so almost nowhere. And I worked at a school. Smoking at a school outside was only allowed outside at least 100 meters away from the school. Nobody checks on it, but the formal rule is 100 meters outside the school range, you can have a smoke.
Just walk and you breathe in fresh air. Wow! But what surprised me even more is that how people behave here. Australians seem much more proactively friendly, and I'll explain what I mean by proactively friendly. I'll actually give you a few examples. We were in the parking lot on a busy Saturday. There were no free spots, and we were wondering if we could even find one. A man came up to us saying, "Hey guys, you see, this is my car over there. I'm just gonna change my daughter, and I'm gonna give you a signal so you can take my spot." And we were like, wow, thank you. And that.
Yeah, I don't know. The Aussies will react to this, but yeah. The north of the Netherlands, not the north, but the west side of the Netherlands, the Randstad versus the south, yeah.
Another example, my boyfriend surfs and he forgot his sunscreen. We were on the beach and he was looking a little bit restless, I guess, from the outside. A woman came up to him saying like, "Do you need a sunscreen or what are you looking for? I have one. Do you want it? Isn't it nice?" Another time, I was trying to find a toilet at the gas station and my assumption that the toilets would be inside or around. And before I even could ask, a man came up to me. I think he was just a customer, not someone working there. And he was like, "Are you looking for toilets?" "Yeah, this is where you can find one." So you see what I mean by proactively friendly? I think Dutch people are friendly and nice, but they usually don't proactively help strangers like that. It's quite.
Mwah. Not always. Not everybody. That's depends on. If I see strangers, I try, and when I see they're looking for something, I will try to help them. But not everybody. Yeah, it depends on the character.
Quite fascinating how traveling, how being abroad actually reminds you of what makes your life feel good, of what you value and what you appreciate in a day-to-day life. And if there is something in your life that is currently missing and you can't fully pinpoint why, but you keep coming back to the same place where you're thinking, should I stay or go? Yes, I should be happy, but I'm kind of not. I don't know what's up. And so if you're feeling a little bit stuck here, I made a free exercise that will help you figure out what
Oh boy. An exercise.
Exactly is missing. I will leave the link in the video description below.
Yeah.
The next point actually came from a conversation on the plane. I asked an Australian woman what she thinks is the biggest difference between Australia and Europe. She laughed and said, honestly, it's the space. It's just not crowded in Australia. Australia has around 26 million people living on the entire continent. To compare it with the Netherlands has around 18 million people, and Moscow too, just in one city, 18 million people. But Australia is almost 180 times bigger than the Netherlands. So the difference in density is huge. Probably because of the space, most of the people live here in standalone houses. Like it's a proper house with a garden and a garage. Some houses have a swimming pool, but I guess it's a little bit on the luxurious end. I'm gonna go for a walk, guys. I'm in a quiet residential area and I want to show you what typical houses here look like. Deep
There are no sidewalks. She's walking on the street.
detached house. Look, there is so much space in between the houses. Wow, it's so peaceful, so calm, so nice.
And automatically she dances her voice.
This is the house that we are staying in. Show you guys a house where I would love to live. Like, if I could, I'd definitely buy that house. This one. Nothing special about this house, but I like that it doesn't have neighbors on one side. And here, it's basically a forest. There are no streets.
Yeah, when you're living in that area, in the Randstad area, yeah, having no neighbors down or next to you feels like freedom. Yeah, I can imagine. In Amsterdam or Rotterdam or Utrecht or most of the cities in between them, yeah, the cheaper buildings, the cheaper housing are really, yeah, not on your own.
Street lights, but it's really fun and cool to walk. Like imagine you live here, you work, you, I don't know, like exercise.
I don't know, what would it cost? Something like this. I guess my Aussies can give me an answer. What would you pay for
Some fun
a house like
there are
that?
no street lights, but it's really fun and cool to walk. Like imagine you live here, you work.
For this house, looks, it's all on base ground, so no stairs, no second floor. So
Work, you, I don't know, like exercised, did some fun stuff, and after that you go for a walk here in the forest. Okay, I'm
such a house on the edge of the forest with, we call it a bungalow, from that size with a car and a zone trap, you can calculate about, nowadays with the housing crisis we have, near 600 to 700K. So give or take, €750,000, not USD, not Australian dollars. Yeah, euros. 600-700.
I'm not gonna make people nervous about me filming here, so I'll just go home. As someone who lives in the Netherlands, I'm genuinely impressed by the sizes of balconies here. This whole balcony belongs to one apartment. Initially, I thought that this white thingy is...
Again, she's living in Amsterdam. Or somewhere in that region. Now you won't find this. Yeah, that's, I can't imagine that she thinks, oh, wow.
It's a divider, but I don't think so. If you look closely, it's not a divider, it's like one whole balcony. Wow, crazy balconies. While in the Netherlands, most of the people live in righteous houses, and standalone houses are considered a luxury in the Netherlands. Even on busy days, beaches are not as crowded. Often when I drive, there is simply no car behind me. But of course, in big cities, the situation will be different. Now it's Tuesday, 11 a.m. and this is what it looks like. And that's one of the most popular beaches in Nusa. Like, I think it's the popular beach in Nusa. So people are surfing here. It's not as crowded, not at all. Over the weekend, it's of course more crowded, but you can never compare it to the crowdedness of Barcelona, for example. I want to share a little bit about the cost, because I don't know about you, but I had always thought that Australia is at the same level.
Of course, she's Dutch. We're gonna take a look at the cost.
As Switzerland, like very expensive. And when I was watching videos in preparation to come here, I was quite surprised to see that many things in Australia are actually cheaper than in the Netherlands. So let's see. Alright, we got 2 flat whites and 2 cakes, free water. You always get free water in Australia. And we paid for it 20 euros. How much is it in Australian dollars? 30 Australian dollars.
Okay, wait a minute. I thought that she would go back to what you would pay for it in the Netherlands. So 2 coffee and 2 cake. She has priced it down to 20 euros. I'm recalculating from dollars to euros. What would you pay in the Netherlands for this one? Because she's talking about it's cheap. two cakes. Yeah, I will make it expensive. Then you will say that you pay 5 euros for a cake and 3 euros for a coffee. Maybe even 3.50 for a coffee at a restaurant. So the combination would be 8.50. Yeah, and that is rather expensive. Yeah. So you won't pay $20, 20 euros in the Netherlands for the same, like she's showing here. So
How much is it in Australian dollars? 30 Australian dollars.
10? Could be. It's $10, but the same over here in the Netherlands. Yeah, probably. What the heck? This is some kind of soup. 15, a bowl of soup. Well, I don't know what it is, but it looks good. And 15, yeah. What would you pay in the Netherlands for something like this? With looks like some sushi, rice, something like, I don't know what this exactly is, but yeah, 10 euros. Yeah, it would be cheaper in the Netherlands. And what is this? Coffee? Only? Oh, it's not coffee. And I don't know what this is, but 3. Yeah, the same. €3 and €9. €3. Yeah, like I said, that is what you pay in the Netherlands for a coffee. That's usually the same price. And this looks like some kind of a lunch for €9. 2 slices of bread, and I don't know what this is. Yeah, could be. Maybe a bit cheaper. Whoa. Yes. €38 for this. Oh. Not sure what it is. It looks all tasty. I have no clue what it is. It looks all tasty. But so in combination, yeah, 38 to 40, because it looks for 2 persons. So on average for dinner, you pay between with drinks, €20. Yeah. 15. Yep. And this is fish and chips. 2 fish and chips. Oh, these are prawns. I have to think about that one. Fish and chips. 20. No. Fish and chips, and this way would cost you 2 portions around 15. Yeah. For this, I do not know.
Do you think it's similar to Dutch prices? Here, yes, right? But here it's also a little bit more of an expensive street. Anything else to report?
No, it's an expensive street. Not goedkoop here.
Not goedkoop? Not goedkoop. In Australia, everything, of course,
Not goedkoop. He tries to speak Dutch.
happens in English, and it's quite refreshing to be able to understand conversations around me. It's also very nice that people don't switch languages. Like in the Netherlands, I don't ask people to switch, but because they hear my accent in Dutch, they often switch. Like 95% of the time, people switch to English, and that immediately makes me feel different. In Australia,
Wait a minute. Because they hear my Dutch accent, they switch to English. In the Netherlands. Again.
switch, but because they hear my accent, to be able to understand conversations around me.
Yeah, that's always nice. But
It's also very nice that people don't switch languages. Like in the Netherlands, I don't ask people to switch, but because they hear my accent in Dutch, they often switch. Like 95% of the time, people switch to English. And that immediately
oh, that means that she is not by birth a Dutch girl.
makes me feel different. In Australia, even though they for sure hear my accent, they never ask me where I'm from, and they never switch to, well, because there is no other language to
You cannot switch
to, right? So they just stick to English, I stick to English, and it makes me feel very normal here. Now, before...
Yeah, I do the same, and lots of the Dutch do this. We switch to the language that we hear in somebody's voice. If somebody talks Dutch to us, but is not Dutch by birth, we can hear something like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay, this sounds like English. And if it's not the way that we that the other person wants to learn Dutch, if he or she actually wants to learn Dutch, then we go into do Dutch more articulate and slower to make ourselves more. And otherwise, we just switch to the language that we hear. And I did it. I switched to German if I hear a German accent, and I switched to English when I hear an English accent, and I switch to French when I hear a French accent, because that's how we are. We always go to please the other one. So we switch our language. When I go to the neighbors on the east side, to my German neighbors, then by default, I switch to German. It's not that I go there and talk English with other Germans and also talking English. Oh, yeah, we are the people that always switch the language to the people we are talking to. Yeah.
Well, this turns into Australia is perfect and the Netherlands is terrible. It's not true. They just stick to
But she's not
English. Okay. I stick to English, and
that explains a lot of the early comments about the weather. Yeah, okay.
makes me feel very normal here. Now, before this turns into Australia is perfect and the Netherlands is terrible, it's not true at all. One area where the Netherlands is clearly ahead is public transport. The Netherlands is perfect for life without a car. If you don't have your license, you can get away without having a car. By using a bicycle, you can cycle pretty much anywhere in the Netherlands, or by using public transport. There are trams, buses, trains, everything is very well organized and developed. In Australia, it's very different.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people coming to the Netherlands say about the infrastructure. When I go and I leave my car at home and I want to go somewhere higher up to the Randstad, or I have a meeting somewhere in the middle of the country, I take a train. And the train station where I go to, there are about 15 trains an hour leading up to somewhere in the region higher up. And of course, the ones that I need only comes 3 times an hour, but still, yeah. That's something that happens over here in the Netherlands.
You really need to have a car here. Probably also because of distances, that distances here are quite large, but at the same
yeah, Australia is big, so you need a car. But I know, how is infrastructure like public transport? We did a video last week, about the new high-speed train that's supposedly should be in a couple of years in Australia. And I saw in the comments people reacting to it. There is a train already from Newcastle to Sydney, etc. So how is it?
Time we're in Sunshine Coast. Brisbane from us is, how far is Brisbane? Like 200 kilometers? Less? 100 kilometers. Like Brisbane from us is around 100 kilometers, and we need to have a car. We need to rent a car to get there. It's really tricky to get there by using public transport, and they're driving on the left in Australia. So if you're like me, who got your license in the Netherlands and coming to Australia, it's going to take a minute to get adjusted to a different driving style. But
Yeah, I guess would for me also be the problem.
roads are quite wide, and even I consider myself a fairly new driver, but I still got adjusted quite okay. And finally, distance. The Netherlands is very connected to the rest of the world. You can get to
Oh, connected to the rest of the world. Okay, wait. We are connected to Europe.
pretty much any European country within 3 hours. Middle East or the US is like a 6-hour flight, but Australia is very far. Maybe from
Yeah, 3 hours you can get all over Europe. Yeah, by train, not by car, but by train, high-speed train, anywhere in Europe, almost 3 to max 4 hours training, and then you are somewhere in Italy or in Spain, or yeah, it's it's not a problem. Now she's talking about Australia.
the US is like a 6-hour flight, but Australia is very far. Maybe from Europe it looks like, yeah, it's close to Singapore, it's close to Bali, it's close to, I don't know, Japan. Well, it's not. To get to Bali, you need to fly for 6 hours. To go to Japan, it's like a 9-hour flight. So it's not close to anything. I guess the closest country to Australia is Papua New Guinea and New Zealand. But even to New Zealand, you need to fly for 3-4 hours. The journey to Australia from the Netherlands is very long. I left my house on Saturday evening and I arrived to Australia on Tuesday morning. So
Saturday evening, Tuesday morning, and I'm crossing 9 time zones. So did she fly over the United States, or did she fly over the other side, like into Indonesia, and then came over? From Saturday to Tuesday. Okay.
takes quite some time, and because I work with clients in Europe, my calls often start at 5:30 p.m. local time, which is 8:30 a.m. Dutch time. And because I study in Europe as well, my lectures are at 1 a.m. local time. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to navigate your life if your life is connected to Europe. After a month here, I'm not saying that Australia is better than the Netherlands or vice versa. Living somewhere and visiting are two different things, and that's why in this video I'm only sharing my observations, not conclusions.
Okay. Good.
But it reminded me that many things we think are just the way life is are actually just the way life is in one place. If you've lived in Australia or visited, let me know what stood out to you. And if this video made you think about your own experience abroad, what you assumed was normal, what surprised you, and what might be missing, I have a free exercise that helps you figure out exactly what your missing piece is. I will leave the link in the video description below. Alright, thank you so much for watching this video until the end, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.
Bye. I don't know. Because she's now talking about that she had her driver's license in the Netherlands. So I'm confused. If she's Dutch by birth, why would another Dutch switch to English listening to her Dutch accent? That's really confusing. So, yeah, that's so confusing to me. Oh, I see already a comment from an Aussie down here. Hypothesis almost correct. Australians, when there are kids at beach, always run to the shops in bare feet. That's where it starts. Okay. Oh, and then another Dutch reacts. Smoking has been made illegal in public spaces. Oh, there's an Australian who reacts. Smoking has been illegal in public spaces in Australia for years now. I think seeing someone smoke at a restaurant would freak me out. Okay, but it's also in the Netherlands, it's illegal to smoke in public spaces. Well, if you liked the video, then press like. And if you want to see more of my videos, then this is a good place to start with. And otherwise, it would be really appreciated if you hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching and see you in the next Australian video.